Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to another weekly video where I just generally talk into the void. I'll be honest, this week I don't really have that much to talk about in terms of playing games. It was looking like a week where I was a bit concerned about what I would actually record a video about. I was going to just talk about my disappointment about not being able to play many games or not have any pickups in the last week. But then PlayStation, in their infinite wisdom, decided to throw me a bone and let me talk about being disappointed about something else. Namely, that as of January 2028, physical discs will no longer be released on the PlayStation, going into the PlayStation 6 I assume, and on the PlayStation 5. And that news made me very, very sad. And I don't think it's a positive thing. I don't think it's a step in the right direction. Maybe I'm being old. I know I'm old, but I just don't like digital media. In all forms, I prefer a physical book to read. I prefer buying, if I'm going to buy a film, I prefer to buy it on a Blu-ray disc. Back in the day, I used to prefer buying it on a DVD disc. I used to prefer buying a VHS tape when I was a young boy. Physical media, having that cassette tape in its case, with all the writing on the back, all the box art, music, cassette tapes, CDs, having the booklet inside that comes out where you can read about, the lyrics and the artist, the artwork, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, actually getting a box with a user manual in it and the physical game on cartridge or on PlayStation with a disc. It speaks to my soul. And now if you do prefer digital content, more power to you. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. But at the same time, spare a thought for those of us who do like a physical copy of a game. It also ties into consumer rights and how, are you buying the game or are you buying a license to play the game? I personally think if I'm paying that much money, I'm buying the game. I should be able to own the game, play the game as and when I want. I should be able to lend the game to friends. I should be able to, in 20 years from now, I should be able to plug the console in, put the game in, and play the game. I'm aware that since PlayStation, maybe the end of PlayStation 3, definitely in PlayStation 4 life cycle, that was no longer the case. And even though you're buying a box with a disc in it, a lot of the time the games are that big that they don't physically fit on the disc anymore, and you're buying a glorified CD key. I don't care. Like, if you don't like it, cool, but I do. I like having that disc in that case on my shelf, being able to look at it, pick it out physically, hold it. But yeah, it doesn't look like that's the way the world is going, with streaming services and subscription models and buying a digital license to play a game that can be revoked at any time. Yeah, it's just not great. And it's not even, good for the planet, saving the plastic and all that type of stuff, because they're still going to look at GTA 6. It's still going to release in a box, a plastic case with the code inside it. So you got all the wastage with none of the, I don't want to say worth it because, we've only got one planet, but there's no reason for a plastic case box if you're just buying a code, in my opinion. Again, if that's your thing and you enjoy it, you carry on. I hope you have a great time. That pretty much summed up how I've been feeling disappointed over the last week. If anyone watched my last video, I mentioned that I was going kayaking, keen to try something that I've never tried before. And as I was leaving the house to make the journey to the starting point, I had a phone call saying that the activity had been cancelled literally 35 minutes before it was due to start. And that completely threw out my whole day and sent me on a bit of a spiral, if I'm being honest. I make no secrets to anyone that knows me, not through a video, that I suffer from mental health, depression, anxiety. I'm on the waiting list for basically a mental health MOT to find out what type of neurotwinkliness I've got going on up in the dome. But yeah, it knocked that on top of the being so ridiculously hot last week and general life not giving me much time to play any games. It really rocked me a lot more than it should have done. I know I don't want to sit here and woe's me and feel sorry for me, get the violin out. None of that. Everyone's got their own problems. Everyone's got their own shit they're going through, and everyone puts their head down and gets on with it. Whether that's through support from their friends, support from external sources, or they've got their own ways to cope. But yeah, it knocked me a bit, and the demands of life haven't left me much time as of late to enjoy my hobbies. And then that news came out, and it did feel like a gut punch. It felt like it made me worried for the future of something that I enjoy. I'm not gonna sit here and tell people what they should and shouldn't do. I'm definitely not qualified for that. And as I've said a few times now, if you enjoy something and you're not hurting anyone, and digital games are your thing, then more power to you. But just try and think about how it affects other people who maybe don't enjoy the digital side of things too much. I'm definitely not keen on the fact of one day I could be playing a game, I could wake up next morning and the license has run out, or the publisher decided that it's fallen out with the studio and it's all being pulled from the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store or wherever you buy your digital games from, which is also cornering the market, because if you do play on a PlayStation or an Xbox, you can only buy the games digitally from those places. Kind of like a closed market there. You get the price that they set, and I come from a generation where you say, "Oh, have you played this game?" No, I've not played it. "Oh, do you want to borrow my copy? It's really good." Like I say, maybe I'm old. I know I'm old. Maybe I'm out of touch. I probably am out of touch. But yeah, it's been a bit of a week, but we move forward. We keep going. Tomorrow's always a new day, and hopefully we got plenty of fun times ahead before the death of discs and physical media. But hey, I'll be able to clear my backlog of games if nothing else. Might finally get round to it. But yeah, sorry it's been a bit of a ranty video. But yeah, it's just a bit sad. But yeah, if you're feeling, let me know how you feel about the whole physical media thing. if you'd like to join the Discord, which currently contains just me, I'll put the link below. Feel free to jump in. We could have a chat and maybe we could talk about playing some games. And if you're from the UK and local, maybe we could go to some, games markets before they too die out. But yeah, on that incredibly depressing and dystopian note, I am going to go play Dungeons and Dragons. Bye.